You are welcome to the Genevieve Kibbumba YouTube channel. This time, ORPAH must get out of the way. We live in a world with limited resources. These limited resources are to be shared by everyone around. One of the limited resources are men. I'm not talking about men as of the male sex, but good marriable men. And these good marriable men must be allocated to good marriable wives. The Bible has a good man that was rich and needed to marry. This man's name was Boaz. In those days, marriage followed protocol. The story goes that Naomi, the widow, returned from Moab with Ruth, her daughter-in-law, another widow. They came to Israel. Naomi got to know about Boaz, and she strategized Ruth so that Boaz sees her. He actually saw her, but protocol had to be followed. There was another close kinsman that should be given first priority to marry Ruth. The kinsman declined the offer to marry Ruth, so Boaz took her to wife. This Ruth was wife to the younger of the two sons of Naomi and Elimelech. ORPAH was the wife of the elder son. So ORPAH was senior to Ruth by protocol. If both had followed Naomi, it is ORPAH that would have been given the first chance to marry Boaz. And she would have married Boaz, but not Ruth. Maybe Ruth would have married the unnamed kinsman and then would have disappeared in oblivion. The book of Ruth would not have been written. Obed would never have been seen or been born, leave alone Jesse and King David. ORPAH had to return to her people. She had to get out of the way for Ruth to take her place. ORPAH had to listen to Naomi's advice to return to her people so that Ruth can marry Boaz. Boaz was only one, and he had to marry the right woman, and Ruth was the right woman. The same book, the Bible, has Jacob, another good man and marriable material. He wanted to marry from a family that had two daughters. He loved the younger one, called Rachel. Protocol had to be followed with or without Jacob's consent. In Israel, the elder daughter had to be married off before the younger one. Jacob was not told that detail. He found himself marrying both sisters, Leah and Rachel, although he never loved Leah. Jacob was meant to marry one wife, but undesired circumstances caused him to marry not only two, but together with their mates. That is how the 12 tribes of Israel came up. As is always the case, the two sisters were co-wives. They did not love each other at all. Their hatred was resurrected in their children also. The 10 brothers never loved Joseph, Rachel's son. They tried to kill him had it not been for destiny. That is why ORPAH must get out of the way for Ruth to marry Boaz. If Leah had got out of the way, Rachel would have married Jacob without any problem. She must return, this ORPAH. She must return to her people and to her God. Every ORPAH in your way, dear viewer, let them return to their people so that you can go on and marry Boaz. I pray that God makes you a Ruth and not an ORPAH. If you are Ruth, you will marry Boaz. But if you are ORPAH, you must return to your people.